Malcolm Gladwell is one of the most influential contemporary writers when it comes to exploring how psychology, sociology, and culture shape human behavior. In his best-selling book, Outliers, The Story of Success, published in 2008, Gladwell dives into one of society's most fascinating and debated questions: what makes high achievers different from everyone else? Most people believe that success is the result of raw talent, intelligence, or sheer determination. Gladwell challenges this conventional wisdom by revealing that success is far more complex. According to him, extraordinary success results from a combination of hidden advantages, cultural background, timing, opportunity, and hard work, rather than from personal talent alone. Through compelling stories, fascinating research, and surprising case studies, Gladwell shows that the most successful people in the world, the outliers, are shaped by a unique set of circumstances that set them apart. The book emphasizes that while individual talent and effort matter, context, opportunity, and community often play an even greater role. 1. The Matthew Effect, a cumulative advantage. Gladwell begins with the idea of the Matthew effect, named after a biblical verse, "For unto every one that hath shall be given." In modern terms, it refers to the principle that those who already have advantages tend to accumulate even more over time. For example, Canadian hockey players who are born in the early months of the year are disproportionately represented in professional leagues. Why? Because the age cutoff for youth leagues is January 1st. Players born in January, February, and March are older, slightly stronger, and more mature than their peers born later in the year. Coaches notice this, give them more playing time, and they receive better coaching, which snowballs into a lifelong advantage. Practical example: in schools, students who are a few months older than their peers often perform better at a young age, which leads to more attention from teachers, placement in advanced groups, and greater confidence. Over time, these small differences accumulate into significant academic and career advantages. 2. The 10,000-hour rule. One of the most famous ideas from Outliers is the 10,000-hour rule. Gladwell argues that mastery in any field requires roughly 10,000 hours of deliberate practice. Talent is important, but it is the sheer number of hours invested that separates the good from the great. Gladwell points to the Beatles, who honed their musical skills by performing live in Hamburg, Germany for over 10,000 hours before becoming a global sensation. Similarly, Bill Gates had rare access to a computer as a teenager in the 1960s, allowing him to accumulate thousands of hours of programming practice long before most people had even seen a computer. Practical example: if you want to become an exceptional pianist, chess player, or software developer, raw talent will only take you so far. You need years of consistent, focused practice to achieve mastery, something that is often overlooked when people admire the natural genius of successful individuals. 4. The importance of timing. Gladwell highlights that being born at the right time can shape an individual's opportunities. For example, many of the most influential figures in the tech industry, like Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, and Paul Allen, were born in the mid-1950s. This allowed them to be the perfect age to take advantage of the personal computer revolution in the 1970s and 80s. Had they been born a decade earlier, they would have been too old to catch the wave. A decade later, too young. Their birth years positioned them at the exact intersection of age, opportunity, and technological innovation. Practical example: consider economic cycles. Graduating from college during a recession often makes it harder to find high-paying jobs, while graduating during a booming economy creates more opportunities for career growth. Timing matters just as much as talent. 5. Cultural legacy and its influence on success. Gladwell devotes significant attention to the role of culture in shaping behavior and consequently success. He argues that cultural legacies, values, habits, and norms passed down through generations play a profound role in determining how individuals approach challenges. For instance, he discusses the culture of honor in the American South, where historical herding economies created a society that valued reputation and toughness. This cultural legacy continues to influence behavior even centuries later. Another striking example is the difference between Western and Asian students in mathematics. Gladwell attributes Asian students' stronger performance partly to cultural attitudes towards persistence and hard work, especially those derived from rice farming societies where patience, diligence, and continuous effort were essential for survival. Practical example: a student from a culture that values long hours of study and perseverance is more likely to persist in solving difficult math problems compared to someone taught that ability is fixed and effort doesn't matter. Cultural legacy shapes not just attitudes but outcomes. 6. The role of opportunity and access. Gladwell insists that success stories are not just about individual effort, but about access to unique opportunities. Bill Gates is an excellent example. He was not only brilliant and hardworking, but also had rare access to a computer terminal at his school in the late 1960s, something almost unheard of at the time. Similarly, the Beatles had access to performance opportunities in Hamburg that forced them to refine their craft far beyond the typical experience of other bands in England at the time. Practical example: consider someone who grows up in a community with strong mentorship programs, educational resources, and supportive networks. That individual has opportunities others may never encounter, which significantly shapes their path to success. 6. Redefining success beyond the self-made myth. Perhaps the most profound message of Outliers is that success is not just about personal qualities. It is about the intersection of talent, effort, opportunity, culture, and timing. Gladwell dismantles the myth of the self-made man, showing that even the most extraordinary achievers benefited from hidden advantages that positioned them for greatness. This does not diminish their hard work or intelligence, but instead reframes success as a social phenomenon shaped by broader forces. Recognizing this reality allows us to design fairer systems that provide opportunities for more people to thrive. Real-life applications of Outliers. Education reform. Schools can address the Matthew effect by creating flexible age cutoffs or tailored support so younger children are not disadvantaged. Career development. Professionals can embrace the 10,000-hour rule by investing consistent time in skill building rather than relying solely on talent. Parenting. Parents can foster persistence, discipline, and curiosity in their children, knowing that cultural attitudes and habits strongly shape long-term outcomes. Organizations. Businesses can design mentorship and training programs that replicate the lucky breaks often enjoyed by outliers. Self-improvement. Individuals can recognize the importance of timing and context, strategically positioning themselves to take advantage of emerging opportunities. Conclusion. Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers, The Story of Success, is not just a book about high achievers. It is a profound meditation on the hidden forces that shape human potential. Gladwell demonstrates that success is not merely the product of innate talent or intelligence, but emerges from a web of interconnected factors: opportunity, cultural background, hard work, and timing. By exploring concepts such as the Matthew effect, the 10,000-hour rule, cultural legacies, and the role of opportunity, Outliers reframes how we think about achievement. It challenges the myth of the self-made individual and reminds us that success is a story of both individual effort and collective context. The book leaves us with two crucial lessons. First, to become an outlier, one must combine hard work with awareness of opportunities and context. Second, as a society, we must recognize and create structures that allow more people access to the hidden advantages that foster success. Ultimately, Outliers teaches us that greatness is not an accident. It is the product of preparation, opportunity, culture, and persistence, all coming together in the right place at the right time. By understanding these forces, we can both celebrate extraordinary success and work toward a more equitable future where many more people have the chance to become outliers themselves.
Be part of our journey. If you find our content valuable and inspiring, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Your support motivates us to keep going and bring you the best content, so don't forget to leave a like and share the video with those who might benefit.